Hi, Reese here with Adore Her Beauty. I am back with another Hirsutism wax video. I'm here with my friend, Miss B. She is such a sweetheart. We have an amazing time when she comes. So you're going to see this process from start to finish. Again, you asked for longer video, so here you go. A longer video, you can see the process, how I start. So with every client, I always start with cleansing their skin. I am using a cleanser by Satin Smooth. It's the one that doesn't hurt or harm anyone's skin, doesn't have their skin feeling dry, flaky. It's a nice hydrating cleanser to remove the oils, the dirt from the skin. I follow up right after that with just a clean, dry gauze. There isn't anything on it. And I thoroughly dry the skin because if the skin is damp, the wax will not adhere to it. And I only cleanse in the areas that I'm going to be waxing. So as you can see, I'm going to be waxing chin, cheek, sideburns, and lip. So let's zoom in close and get into this wax session. As you know, I always start out with the tip of the chin. I don't know why. That's just my go-to if they're getting that area waxed. So I want to point out about my application. So when I am applying a strip of wax, I just press it into the skin, push the wax, into the skin, toward the skin is what I wanted to say. Just to make sure that all the hairs are coated and covered. Now you can see when that removal that the hairs are pretty strong still. Even though she comes often, but she doesn't come like every 4 weeks. She may come like every 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. So she is not, as consistent, but hey, she comes. So I'm always happy to see her when she does. You can see there when I'm applying the wax, it stops my stick, like my stick is stopping because the wax is getting hard as I'm applying. This is easy wax that I'm using in this particular video, and I love it. It does dry pretty quickly up on application, especially when you're doing thinner strips. So I've already done her cheek, I've done her sideburn, and for her, we were just talking, having such a great time. I was just literally subconsciously waxing her. Usually I'm so into it that I'm quiet and I may say something here and there, but we were so engaged. I literally was just on autopilot. So when you're waxing your client, if you're professional and you're watching this part of the video, when you're waxing your client, don't be afraid to get in those cracks and crevices where needed. They have given you permission to touch them. So you can lift up their chin if needed. If you are doing their underarm, have them hold their breasts. I'm like tucking my towel in some of my clients' bras. Like I'm all in there. They come, they trust you. They trust that you're going to do, get the service done. So, hey, get the service done. Don't be feeling real shy and timid. Just get in there and do your thing. So let's zoom in here. And, sometimes during my sessions, I'm pretty experimental. So I want to try and see how soft wax does on her lip. Generally, I do not use soft wax on terminal hairs if I can help it, unless it's on a larger body, a larger area of the body, like the back or the legs. But I just did soft wax on that side of the lip. On this side of the lip, I'm going to do hard wax. So for some reason, I did not start at the tip of the chin on this side. I went right in for the sideburn, start on the outer edges, work my way inward. So I'm doing sideburn, partially cheek area, partially chin area, just doing super large strips. It's like I said, I'm on autopilot. We were just talking, super engaged. And if you look at the video, she's talking and smiling the entire time. So we were just in a blissful conversation, just talking about life and talking about kids and marriage. Like we always get into pretty in-depth conversation. But for some reason, again, I was just out of my body waxing, which is why what you're about to see happen actually happened. And it's coming up, and I've already posted that particular clip in my shorts, so you can go back and see what happened. But I'm gonna come to it in a minute. But first, I got under her chin area. Now, while I was waxing around the tip of her chin, I don't know. It's just the way things go sometimes. You're not going to do the same thing every time, but you're going to have the basics down. You're going to have the basics: cleanse, apply, test for make sure it's dry, pull pressure. Like long as you're doing that, it doesn't really matter the sections that you're doing it in, as long as you complete the job. So here we go. So the tip of the chin, as you can see, is quite a little bit of hair, like a little nice little grassy patch right there. And so I'm just applying the wax, and I really want you to look at this, because this is I'm pushing the wax into the skin. I'm pushing it into the hair. I'm using that good firm pressure, just making sure everything is coated. As you can see, I tested the wax to make sure it was dry. I tested it twice. You see that, right? And so I'm thinking it's ready, and bam. Oh my gosh, a goopy mess. But I recovered. So when that happens, you just press the wax into itself, lift and pull, and it's not going to be a clean strip. Like the strip is all molded and bent up, and it was everywhere. But I got the hair. Like, I call myself the comeback kid, because I came back from that terrible, terrible removal. And so again, I'm looking over my client's skin, making sure I didn't miss any areas. If I missed any areas, then I go and clean up. Now, the reason why that didn't adhere as well is because it was actually dry. And that's the thing that I like about Easy Wax, that it is soft wax. Like, it's a hard wax, but it's really soft and gentle on the skin. And so, again, it's only available for licensed professionals, which is why I created a wax that is very, very comparable to this wax called Abolish. And Abolish Wax brand has released its first wax called Abrogate. It's beautifully orange. It has a really, really nice, soft, gentle, slippery slope glide of an application, and the removal is really, really soft and delicate on the skin, just like this beautiful wax that you're seeing here. So if you want to get a sample, go to adorabeauty.com/shop, enter the shop, and you can purchase your sample for $10. And so now I am going on the other side, and I'm doing a corner of the lip and some of the cheek area. And you can see that's a real thick layer. Can you see how thick that layer is? And you see how far I was able to extend the wax? I just scooped it up and extended it to go into other areas that I needed. Now, in most wax videos, you're going to see them create a lip. I really don't create lips most of the time. I just use my stick for removal. I've seen some waxers say that's not a proper protocol, whatever, but I ain't seen nobody complain, and I ain't complaining. And it's just easy, and it's faster for me. And I don't have time to be trying to pull up a bunch of wax at the bottom. Like here, on that lower strip, you can see that there's a pool of wax at the bottom, and I'm able to just take my finger and lift it. But look what I'm doing. I'm spreading it thinner. I'm spreading it thinner because no product wasted. Like, I'm going to let it cover an area that can be covered, and I'm going to use my stick for removal. It's just faster for me. And plus, I've been doing it so long, it's habit now. So there are instances you may see where I use wax to remove the strip. It just depends on the mood. Like I said, I was already in autopilot. I was in autopilot on this particular day. I was having a blast. It was a great conversation. I was attentive to make sure that I didn't harm my client, but we was rocking and rolling. So I got my tweezers here, and I'm just getting those few little stray hairs. It wasn't many, just a couple, and I extracted those. And you can see, like, literally, just look at Miss B's skin. Like, her skin looks smooth, right? So she does have a little slight texture and color issue that can be worked out, but her skin looks good. Like, compared to when she first came in, it looks good. It looks nice and smooth. Her husband can go rub and, caress her cheeks today or whenever she went home. And so, like, look, I like it. I think her skin looks great. And so I did the bottom lip again because I kind of touched on edges of the lip when I did the chin wax. I was talking through that part, but I kind of touched at the lower lip, but then I went back in fully and got the rest of the hairs that were at the lower lip. And look at her, talking. We were going. So if you come to me, you guaranteed to have a great time. I know people talk about waxing, it hurts, and you see all these crazy videos online of people being tortured. It's really not like that. It's really not like that, but it makes great views. It gives people cringe effect, and it makes people freak out and be weirded out. But honestly, if you go to a good waxer, if you go to a professional, trained, knowledgeable waxer, you're going to have a relaxing time. Yes, you're going to feel a little tension. Yes, you're going to feel some pricks and things like that. But ultimately, it's going to be a great experience, and you are going to be happy when you leave.